You know what she just said? I'm free.
Were you taken out, or was this something that was accidental?
Hi, everyone. Thank you for watching. By law, I have to tell you that this is for entertainment purposes only. All videos are property of Psychic Liz Cross, LLC. Thank you.
Welcome, everybody. It's Mr. Reality and Psychic Medium Liz Cross, and I'm joined by Liz Cross this morning. Welcome, everybody who's new to the channel. Thank you for listening, subscribing. This is a major request that came in this morning after the shocking death of Hayden Panettiere over the weekend. So, Liz is a channeler, and she's able to ask questions of Hayden about her life and her death and the other side. So, I wanted to make sure that we got to this because the audience has requested it. Liz, how are you?
I am good. Thank you. Yeah, let's get into it.
So we're not trying to take advantage of this situation, but I wanted to give her a chance to answer questions that people no doubt have that are in shock. She has struggled and been vocal about her problems and the eye of the spotlight. So from her point of view, how is she doing now? What is she engaged with on the other side? How has the transition been?
You know what she just said? I'm free. She felt like she was chained here. Too many people wanted too many things from her, and now she feels free.
So what is that life like on the other side versus living here? You say you felt change, but what dropped? What burdens dropped when you crossed over? How was that transition?
How was that transition into? Oh no, she was fine. She gracefully accepted is what she said. Going into the tunnel, she said, "Finally, I'm free." Look, she had not been happy for a very, very long time.
She struggled with postpartum depression. She struggled with, being in the spotlight. Her brother's death a few years back now, I think. Was Jensen there to see you at the other end of the tunnel?
He was, yes.
Anyone else there on the other side for you?
There's a dog there that she loved very much. She really, really loved this animal, this dog. There was also an adult male there, not the brother, but someone else, another relative. Who is this relative? She's showing me the picture. Who is this relative to you? It's possibly like an uncle, is what I'm getting. She's glad to be on the other side.
So, what did you do? It's been a couple days for us. So, what was the transition like? What have you done since you crossed over?
She says, I'm enjoying my freedom. Have you had your life review? She did. She had her life review. It wasn't bad. Um, she did have a troubled life here on the earth plane, but obviously there's no judgment and all is forgiven. The biggest thing she had to do in the life review is learn to forgive herself.
The people that met you, or the souls that met you, your uncle, your brother, are they still close to you? Are they aiding you in this transition process?
No, I mean, she was ready to go. She wasn't one of those people that resisted going into the spirit world. She welcomed it.
What point after you leave your physical body do you recall that you're more than your physical body? Like, how long does that transition or that like remembrance take?
Oh, that's immediate. As soon as the soul detaches from the body, and she looked down at herself and she was like, "Oh well," and that was it. She was gone. She didn't look down at herself like, "Oh, you poor thing. Oh, I don't want to leave you." Anything like that. She was gone.
So there are a few ways that people can exit. It's either self-induced, accidental, or by someone else's hand. So well, you've just come out with a tell-all book. You've been very vocal about the industry of Hollywood. People want to know, were you taken out, or was this something that was accidental?
She wasn't taken out. Were you taken out by anyone? No, no. Was this accidental? Yes. But her heart, she had heart damage from the lifestyle that she was leading and continued to lead, even though there was a lot of stopping and starting, which is very typical with people that have addiction issues. I'm off the addiction and now I'm back on it.
Right.
She was back on.
So she was on substances at the time, and did she
Mm.
know that she had heart problems? Is that something she'd been seen a doctor for?
Did you know? No, she wasn't aware how bad her heart problems were, and that was damage from drug use, unfortunately.
So in your adult life, what were the hardest boundaries for you to set?
Saying no to people.
How about in your, you really couldn't do that. You really probably didn't have a chance to grow up if you were always in the spotlight.
She was very much a people pleaser. She would do anything that people asked of her. If it was something that she didn't want to do, she would try to run and hide, but she rarely ever said no.
You struggled with postpartum depression. You've given up your daughter. Have you had any, remorse about letting go of your daughter, or did you learn to let that go?
No, she said her daughter is better off where she is now. She didn't feel competent to raise her daughter, and she couldn't give her the time and energy that the daughter deserved. So no, she feels that that was a good decision.
So you've looking at your life, it's hard for us to judge because we don't know the situation that you're in. Why did you sign up for that contract to have the struggles, to have the early, success and the early exit? What was the benefit to your soul?
She likes extremes. Okay. So that's something I'm picking up from her very much. It's about experiencing these really stark contrasts in the lifetimes, like fame and fortune, but depression and drug addiction, alcoholism, sex addiction. She likes those extremes. Now, her soul has this belief system that that is a really great way to learn life lessons quickly by going from one extreme to the other, even in the same day, multiple times per day. But that was a wrong estimation by the soul because the addiction extremes were something that she really had trouble getting out of. I mean, it was like she said, it was back and forth into and out of addiction. She's glad to be away from the earth plane.
So we look at pattern behavior and reincarnation. Those of you that are new to the channel don't know you take multiple incarnations and what number incarnation as a human was this for Hayden? And what of those previous incarnations did she experience the same type of trauma?
So, what number reincarnation was this as a human? Oh no, she's at about 250 and never feeling good enough. I don't see her having addiction issues in past lives, but certainly this, I never feel good enough. I never feel as if I'm living up to the expectations of others, even though she absolutely did, right? She did live up to our expectations. I mean, she entertained us, and I mean, we loved everything that she was in. So I'm saying to her now, but you did live up to expectations. And she says, no, she doesn't see it. She's the type of person that if you say, you are so pretty or you are so talented too, thank you, but it doesn't register. She doesn't believe it. Unfortunately, she still thinks that she, there's something wrong with her. She could do better. She wasn't a perfectionist. That was not the issue, that she was always trying to be one. Far from it, she says.
So what is the
But
disconnect then that doesn't allow her to, take in those compliments or see that she, was great and loved and adored? What is it, a psychological condition? Is it a, emotional condition because of how she was treated as a child?
it's it's very kind of transactional. The relationship that she had. This is really about her mother. I'm
Hmm.
getting. it was always criticism, sit up straight, shoulders back, that kind of stuff. But I'm sure we've all had that in our lives, but not constant criticism.
So this
And
soul contract. Oh,
for
go ahead.
for those parents to lose two children at such young ages, that is very different.
It's horrific. It's my heart breaks for both of them. They're separated now, but we can talk to both the father and the mother. Um, how do they feel about Hayden's passing? How close were they with
Well, they're
her in the last
distraught.
years?
Well, they are distraught. The family are distraught. But there's an element of them that believe that she had cleaned up everything, cleaned up her life. So this was all very hidden addiction. This was going back into the addiction. Nobody needs to know. I'm just going to do this one time, and then next thing you know, it takes over again. But how does your mother, oh, they're distraught.
I think that's an
But
understatement of the, yeah.
yeah, but the mother, very much, unfortunately, and I'm not trying to cast judgment or anything like that. I'm only giving information that Hayden is telling me, which is that the mother is solely responsible for her feelings of the lack of self-worth. Nothing was ever good enough for the mom.
And how does she feel that that maybe transferred into her own inadequacies for her daughter, Kaya?
Well, because she didn't think she was good enough to raise a child, and it scared her. She was terrified of getting it wrong. And that was a spillover in all of her life. Get it, I don't want to get things wrong, because when she was younger and she would get things wrong, people make mistakes, children make mistakes, nobody's perfect. It was really disappointing to her mother, and that was not something that she wanted to do. She was an extremely sensitive person. She wanted to please her mother, which, children often do. And it was just full of criticism.
From Hayden's point of view, how did this strain and eventual breakdown of her parents' marriage affect her and her psyche and her emotions and what else?
Did she blame yours for that? I mean, she does blame herself for that, but her mother's impossible. Like, she's a very difficult person. They had a very odd relationship, very strained. Although from the outside, we made things look perfect, but it really wasn't.
Can she tell us about the postpartum depression that she went through after her child was born? She said she had like an emotional blackout. So is that, I'm trying to find out if it's a chemical response or if it's just a, psychological damage response. What caused that emotion lack she had?
What was the emotion like about? It was the body readjusting to the birth. But it was like all the bad things that she had hidden for a long period of time, depression, anxiety, that all came to the surface. And there were some days she couldn't even get out of bed. And again, she felt like a failed parent. It's all my fault. There was a lot of expectation for her to be this wonderful mother, and she wasn't able to fulfill those expectations, especially if you can't get out of bed. And that she received a lot of judgment from that as well. And it just highlighted her inadequacies that she believed that were present.
Well, but as a star, can't you outsource that kind of thing, like raising your kid, like a lot of other celebrities do with a
She
nanny?
did, but yeah, she did, but it wasn't the ideal picture that she wanted it to be. She just didn't feel that she was worthy of her daughter. Even
Did
now, She says, "My daughter will have a better life. I'm no longer on the earth plane. She can live because of me." Now, I feel that the daughter is possibly going to go into some sort of career similar to the mom, maybe not as popular, but certainly similar. She is very much like her mother.
Speaking of that, I wanted to see if you could unpack the soul threads between Kaya, the daughter, and Hayden, the mother, and see if this has played out before or if this is a new contract where she exits early and makes her live on her own. And is that a beneficial or is that going to be a hindrance for the daughter?
So they are soul family. They have been in past lives together, but the daughter was Hayden's mother. This is a rare role reversal that they're trying out. And the daughter will be very hyper independent as well.
How many incarnations have they played this out?
How many incarnations have you played? I mean, they've had hundreds of lifetimes together where the daughter was the mom. This is the first where they swapped around.
And when you say hundreds, that exceeds the number of human lifetimes, but they've also had animal lifetimes prior to being humans. For those of you listening out there who are sticklers for details, I wanted to bring that up as well. So, are there any animal lifetimes that Hayden and her daughter have had that maybe have carried over into this incarnation?
Well, in the animal lifetimes, the mother had abandoned Hayden. But what is interesting is that Hayden has the mother she had in this lifetime, which is normally not her mother. That mother in this lifetime is normally Hayden's grandmother, who is a very hands off type of grandmother, right? Whereas if you think about past lives and lifetimes a few hundred years ago, where we all lived close together, families helped to raise one another, that was not the case for her grandmother in those previous lifetimes. The grandmother would leave early, would pass away, or the grandmother didn't want anything to do with her, with the family. Or there's one where the grandmother was in an insane asylum. So it's interesting that now this lifetime, her mother, who was her grandmother in previous lifetimes, is now, doing a similar role of, kind of, on the one hand, she micromanaged Hayden, right? But it was to make her into a star, make her into something. It's not that Hayden had a choice to be who she wanted to be. She was molded into this.
And she signed up for that contract too before she came down. I wanted to know, what did she dream about when she was living on the Earth plane? She had, pain, depression, her own demons she was battling. What type of things invaded her dreams?
What type of things? It was always the ones that she remembers the most are the ones where she was always running away from something, but she never saw what was chasing her.
And does she know where dreams come from now that she's on the other side?
A number of different places. So where do they come from? Sometimes the subconscious, sometimes the astral plane, sometimes downloads. I mean, there's a lot of different places that dreams can come from. But the one where she was always running from something, now that was from her subconscious.
Hmm. What of her past lives does she feel most accomplished by, not including her most recent life, but of her other incarnations?
Hmm. What past life were he most accomplished? So there's one past life where she was female. She prefers to be female in the lifetimes, whereas a lot of us, we're male and female and we play all these different roles. Where she was an excellent swimmer and rower, meaning not modern day rowing, but like a woman on the boat fishing on a raft and catching loads of fish and out there with the men all day. which is not what a woman was supposed to be doing. This is going quite far back. And she had to earn the respect of all these other males that were fishing. And she was quite impressive with all the things that she caught. And she would try to teach others her methods. And she earned a lot of respect.
Well, interesting that I want to ask this next question then. She was the financial earner for her family in this lifetime as Hayden. So, why does she feel that she didn't feel that sense of accomplishment in this lifetime because she was more than successful for her family in this lifetime versus the fish capturing or fisher girl lifetime? I don't know what the correct gender terminology is.
Right.
I'm not trying to be disrespectful.
No, no, no. But the reason she loved the fish lifetime so much, where she was catching fish, was because she felt she had a sense of purpose. In this lifetime, she didn't feel as if she had a sense of purpose. Don't forget, you know, she was molded into being this person, whether she liked it or not. Therefore, any other interests or hobbies when she was younger, they were not allowed to be pursued because it was very much, that again, this people pleaser. I want to make, my mother happy. I want to do what is expected of me. And she lost a sense of self through that. Almost like she doesn't know who she is. She doesn't know what she wants. She just does what is expected of her, and that's it. So they're really different lifetimes, being the Fisher girl who was given a sense of purpose to this. This served no purpose, she said.
So, what was stripped away from the Hayden Panettiere personality, consciousness, individual spirit when you crossed over? You had a lot of anxiety, you had all these feelings, these emotions. Did those leave you, or do you still have that anxiety now?
They don't leave completely, she says. They do travel with you, but the weight of them is no longer there. So you know that they're in there somewhere. You just know that this is not the time to feel them.
What else do you still, what's the difference? And well, there's no weight, there's no gravity, there's no body. So maybe that's why it's not as heavy. But what remains of you as we know you as Hayden and all of your other consciousnesses or personalities or feelings or emotions from those past lives?
So what parts of Hayden will remain? Well, she liked the fact that she was beautiful. That was a very good quality to have on the earth plane. It was very beneficial for her. It made life a little easier for her in so many ways. Doors opened up because of the beauty, which are otherwise closed on other people, other souls that choose to not be extremely beautiful. She's not sure what she's going to do in the next lifetime and how close the personality will be to Hayden. I mean, she's going to have to work on that.
Well, she's got time. How much time does she feel has passed since she crossed over for us a couple days?
How long does it feel like if you were to put it in earth plane terms? It feels like she's only been there like 5 seconds.
And what has she done? What is she engaged in? What does she have the chance to do? What is she encouraged to do on the other side after this exit?
Um, well, right now she's being encouraged to socialize at the
By whom?
moment. Just it's an expectation up there that you just socialize, you get acquainted with the spirit world and the possibilities, or reacquainted, I should say. Run into old souls that you may not have seen for several lifetimes. Look up souls that were important to you, and then once you do that, you then start on the journey of planning. I don't think she wants to keep her daughter in her soul family. She wants to set her daughter free into a new soul family, one that would be better for her. Again, that's something that she's carried with her, though, up into the spirit world. The fact that she still feels inadequate.
Right. That's surprising. She hasn't let go of that. So why is that still a part of her? And how is it a part of her now versus how it was on the earth plane?
It will always be a part of her until she works out that contract in hopefully the next lifetime. But she really wants the best for her daughter. She really wants her daughter to thrive. And as a responsible soul, she believes that it would be better for her to find another soul family. Because
Like
apparently the dad's a little messed up too. I don't know who the dad is, but a
how
little screwed
many
up.
people are in her soul family?
Three
Just her and her dad and her mom?
is the dad. No, no, the dad is not really part of the soul family. The dads seem to be interchangeable so that they can keep a variety of experiences. So really it's just her, the daughter, and her mother.
But her brother and her dog were there to greet her. So where do they fit in the soul family orbit?
Mm, but your brother and the dog were there to greet you. They're more soulmates. Is the brother part of the soul family? He's a new addition, but she doesn't know if he's going to stay in the soul family. So that's all to be decided. But the core group is definitely her, the daughter, and her mother.
So can we take her back to her previous like lifetime, the one that preceded Hayden, and ask her why she agreed to go into this short lifetime with all of these traumas, with all these pains, with all these addictions? What was going to be the benefit for her soul?
Oh. To find her self-worth through getting over all of this. But of course, that didn't happen. And the damage had already been done to the heart. And she was supposed to leave at this time. The damage, whether she was taking substances or not on the night, she would have left because of the heart damage. I mean, that was all part of the contract.
So
And
did she,
and a lot of the lot of the contract is to extract a lot of guilt from the mother. But unfortunately, looking at it from the other side, that won't happen. About, oh, I should have done this, oh, I should have done that. The mother is very much like, even though she's extremely upset, I mean, the mother can very much move forward instead of going over all the what ifs.
so was this lifetime as Hayden successful in what she attempted to accomplish before she incarnated?
Do you believe that? No, no, she rarely accomplished anything. She got too caught up in the fame and fortune. And so a lot of times the spiritual journey was abandoned. So that's a balance that needs to be struck in the next lifetime. Do you want to be no, she doesn't want to be famous again. She doesn't want to do that again.
Did she ever put herself into the place of her fans and just see like how people loved her and adored her and, appreciated her work?
Yes, but she could not comprehend that love. It wasn't something that actually registered. And she enjoyed playing these different characters. It was a way for her to feel as if she was someone with a sense of purpose, as the other characters, but not a sense of purpose within herself.
Hmm. So was the lack of sense of purpose like an emotional damage or a psychological or spiritual damage or a combination?
It was a combination.
Like how much space does she have to roam around as an orb on the other side? Like what is her domain space like now that she's crossed over?
Well, she's free, and nobody expects anything of her like they did on the earth plane. So she really liked that. And she does have a lot of freedom. She can go where she wants. Again, that freedom was not afforded to her here on the earth plane. It was micromanaged and absolute control from the time she was very little.
Yeah, I'm comparing it to like the orb density population of New York or, LA. When you're out walking around, you see other people walking around. When you're floating around as an orb, do you see other orbs or do you have like your own designated home space as a soul? That's what I'm trying to understand for her.
Oh, do you have your own? Yeah, I mean they do. It's not populated like New York. I mean, there's plenty of room for everyone. People are not, or souls are not on top of one another. There's lots of quiet places to retreat to, but there's also a lot of noisy and busy places as well.
Population density, does she have any idea of that?
No idea.
Has she reincarnated or like resonated or gone to speak with Michelle Trachtenberg at all? I think they were in that ice skating movie, someone said.
Oh, no.
Does she have any desire to like reconnect with any of her other soulmates or people she incarnated with? Because that was encouraged of her.
So, but do you have any others that you're reconnecting with? There is another female who seemed to die in some sort of fire that she's telling me, a friend. She's really happy to see her. Yeah, there's this long, was that from, see, these are the questions you have to ask. Well, was that from the lifetime you just had as Hayden? No, that was from a lifetime a long time ago.
So, from her point of view, what would she like to say to her fans that are listening, that are struggling to find an answer of why she exited so early?
What would you say to your fans? Well, she loves her fans and she says thank you for giving her life. If it weren't for the fans, she became this image that the fans believed her to be. And she says, if it wasn't for the fans looking at me from that image point of view, or at that image point of view, sorry, she would feel completely invisible, like micromanaged and criticized into inexistence.
All right. Thank you very much, Liz, for bringing her through. Thank you, Hayden, for sharing your thoughts with us and your insight into your passing, what we're all struggling out there. I appreciate your time. And Liz, I appreciate your time today. And each one of you out there, thank you for listening, sharing, and subscribing and supporting Liz. We appreciate you.
Yeah, and thanks for putting this together for everyone so quickly. I mean, this just came in as a big time request this morning, and you did a stellar job. So thank you, Mr. Reality.
Thank you.